All right. Perfect. Well, thanks everybody for joining us tonight. Hopefully y'all can see us and this doesn't get cut off. But we're excited to be doing this Q&A with school board candidates tonight. And this kind of came about short notice, but we did our candidate forum at the Botanical Gardens a few weeks ago now. And we heard from a lot of people who said, we really want y'all to do something just specifically for the school board races. We said, that's a great idea. So tonight we're going to be doing a quick Q&A with school board candidates and the college board candidates. This won't go forever, but we are excited to do it. And you all know me. I'm Thomas Warren. I'm editor of the Amarillo Pioneer. Noah Dawson, if he wants to unmute himself for just a second, he's one of our columnists. He's going to be asking some questions tonight. And there he is. And our guest joining us tonight is Dan Butcher. He's from the High Plains Pundit podcast. And he's already interviewed all the candidates, so he knows them well, but he's going to be joining us tonight to ask questions. So say hi, Dan.
Hello, everyone.
All right, perfect. Well, we told the candidates 7:05 to start AC Board of Regents. They're going to be up first. Tonight, we're going to try to get through this fairly quickly. AC Board of Regents is first. AISD Board of Trustees is second. And the Canyon ISD Board of Trustees is third. So we're going to try to get through these fairly quickly. If you're watching on YouTube and you have any questions, feel free to drop those in the chat because we're going to be trying to pull those for y'all as well. But I think that's everything we need to go over before we get started. And it looks like we have 5 of the 6 AC Board of Regents candidates in the waiting room. So we'll go ahead and let them in and just kind of go over how we're going to do this tonight.
Let's see.
Okay, I think everybody's on. And we're just missing one candidate. So if that candidate joins us here in just a minute, we'll let them in the Zoom room. But thanks everybody for being with us. We really appreciate it. AC Board of Regents, y'all are up first. We're going to be giving each of you a minute for intros, and then we're going to go into some questions that we've written, some questions people have sent in for us. And basically the big thing is this is just a Q&A tonight, and so we kind of want to let people get a chance to know who y'all are because y'all got to do your introductions at our thing at the Botanical Gardens, but we still need to know a little bit more about who each of you are. So I'm just going to take it in the order that it's popping up on my Zoom list, if that's fine. Just keep your intros around a minute. We're not going to ding you on time because we're not running on too tight of a schedule tonight. But it looks like we're about time to get started. So the first person I see on my list is Jason Fogelsong. So Jason, if you want to go ahead and start just around a minute, sir, tell us about yourself and why you're running for the Board of Regents.
Well, I'm Jason Fogelsong, and I'm running for the Amarillo College Board of Regents because I want to make sure that the average working class voter in Amarillo is properly represented and heard on the board. I want to increase transparency and accountability to voters so that the people in our city know what's going on at the board and how the board affects their lives every day. And I want to help make sure colleges run fiscally responsibly, but also successfully.
All right, that's perfect. Saving us some time. So next up on my list is Brady Clark. So Brady, go ahead and take it away. Same thing, a minute. Tell us about yourself and why you're running.
Yeah, sure. I am a native of Amarillo, went to AC. I am the executive director of a nonprofit here in town called Square Mile Community Development. And I am the director of urban ministries at First Pres Church here in Amarillo as well. I've been in the nonprofit sector, faith-based and just, regular nonprofits for a little over 25 years, and mainly as a director and executive director. Some of those are local organizations, some of them were national organizations. And I've just been very involved in the community and trying to make sure that we're building better, stronger communities for basically my whole career. I got into this because I had some people ask if it was something that was on my radar. And to be very honest, it was not at all. But the more I started looking at it and thinking about it and talking with others, the more I thought, this is something that I have good insight into the community. I work in all areas of Amarillo as well as across our Panhandle region. And I thought, this is something that is in my wheelhouse and something that I'm passionate about in terms of making sure that our population is educated, that we're providing great opportunities for everybody, regardless of socioeconomic background. And it's something I'm very passionate about because I want to see Amarillo strong. I want to see all of our people represented. And I want to see us in a good position to move forward in the future, mainly economically, honestly. And the college is a big vehicle of making sure we have a strong local economy.
All right, perfect. Next up on my list is Michelle Fortunato. So Michelle, go ahead and take it away. Same thing.
Sure. My name is Michelle Fortunato, and I'm running for re-election to the board. I'm currently on the board. I've been on the board for 19 years, and some people would wonder, why do you want to keep doing this? But I really love Amarillo College and love our students, and there's still things I want to get done. I got my undergraduate degree at Texas Tech. I'm a first-gen college student in my family. I worked as a school teacher for several years. I got a teaching certificate with my bachelor's degree and taught school in Houston and Austin and Deer Park, Texas. And then after several years, I decided to go to law school. So I was 33 years old when I went to law school. And in that respect, I relate to our students, who many of whom are going back to school in their 30s with a family. I quit my job, had no income, and just really took it seriously and did well in law school. But it was hard. It was a sacrifice. Not having any money was not easy either. But got a law degree, and I thought that was going to really help my family going forward, and it certainly did. And so I relate to the students. I really feel like I am one of them in a lot of respects, first gen, and then first generation student, and then law school at age 36. And so that's my story, and I hope to continue to be on the board.
All right, thank you so much. Looks like next up for us is Mike Yazbek. So Mike, same thing, go ahead and take it away.
Well, yeah, I'm definitely interested in becoming a member of the Board of Regents, because people don't understand how important this really is as far as the community is concerned, and the outreach that the Amarillo College has, really how far it goes into the lives of the city. For example, having been a business owner, having owned a taxi cab company, a couple of them really, and having been on the road as a truck driver and a pilot car driver, having been in radio and television for years, there are so many things that people don't understand. I went from Amarillo College to the Columbia School of Broadcasting in Dallas, and I learned more at Amarillo College than Columbia School of Broadcasting could have ever taught me. I mean, the equipment is top notch. The school is top flight in everything they do. One of the people I went to school with in the journalism classes at AC went on to become the voice of NASA. Larry Keenan went from Amarillo College to play in the NBA for the San Antonio Spurs after the Dallas Chaparrals. Amarillo College has always had people that go all the way to the top. Chaz Mixon is on Spotify now, went straight from Amarillo College in 1982 to KZEW in Dallas. I mean, you just don't do that. That was one of the #1 radio stations in the country. So the station is one of my passions, because it's my background with AC, as is the truck driving. Even though it was Texas State Technical College at the time, AC took that program over. So overseeing these things that reach out into the community, the diesel mechanics and auto mechanics programs, the dental hygiene programs, the various programs that don't necessarily lead to other colleges. But the problem is not enough people understand this, and there's not enough outreach as to how far the college has reached in the last century. And so it's time to step up and be the public relations person, really, and the liaison between the students, the school, the faculty in the school, and the public at large in the school. And that's what the board is designed to do.
All right, that's perfect, Mike. Okay, and I think finally joining us is Irene Hughes. So I'm gonna let Irene take it away. Same thing.
My name's Irene Hughes, and I have actually worked at Amarillo College for 12 years as an advisor for the Student Support Services Program. It was a government grant that took care of first gen and the people in poverty and also the disabled. I was elected 2 different times as Classified Employee of the Year at the Moore County campus. I loved my time at Amarillo College. I enjoyed the staff, and I enjoyed instructors, and I enjoyed all the students. We had a great time together, and I worked with even from the 18-year-olds up to an older man that I encouraged to go to college for the first time at age 82. So I was quite an advocate for Amarillo College and bringing people in at all ages and all different kinds of lifestyles, whatever. And I did find that from working with the workforce for 8 years as a youth specialist, I found that it was difficult for some of these students just to walk through the doors of Amarillo College. So that my passion is really for helping the students to transition. And I actually worked with WT at one time in the talent search program. And we worked with students from bringing from the high school over to college. And that was a great program that really made them more confident because somebody was there to help them get there and actually open the door. And I've always thought that customer service was so important. That very first time that someone came through, those students that were already afraid, that customer service who was at the front door, the ones that saw them first, was so very important to make sure that they would come back again. So I have a lot of insight as well as far as the students, as well as staff and what they're thinking and feeling at this time.
Let me go ahead and stop you there, Irene, and we'll go ahead and get into the questions. Thanks everybody for giving us that brief little intro. And it looks like the only candidate we're missing is Jay Barrett. So if Jay joins us a little later this evening, we'll let him in the Zoom room. But we're going to go ahead and start with Brady, since you moved up to the top of the list with our first question. One of Amarillo College's greatest strengths, I think everybody will agree tonight, is the affordability of the school. The fact that, the courses are so affordable, it's a great place to start your 4-year education, or get a certificate that helps you further in your career, or even, get whatever license or, program you need to start your career. If you're elected to the Board of Regents, how are you going to make sure that Amarillo College continues to remain an affordable place to get an education?
Great question. Amarillo College has done a great job of not raising its tuition in a very long time. And in order to continue to do that, we've got to make sure that we have a very good funding method. And I think we have to balance that because, as taxpayers, as folks here in the community, we don't want to pay more taxes. And at the same time, we also want to have a very strong and robust and affordable, excellent community college as well. And I think that, as with their strategic plan of 2025, I think finding those other fiscal ways to bring in better money, to bring in alternative funding streams. HB8, it looks like it's going to go through down in Austin. That's going to bring, $4.5 million back down into this, and it's going to help out with being able to do that. So I think by finding and making sure that we're ensuring we develop alternative funding streams that don't raise taxes as much as we can possibly help it, we can ensure that we keep our tuition low. One of the things that is going to make a big deal on that is the results. The better quality of education we're providing, if we're making sure that our students are transferring out, they're getting certificates, they're achieving those desired results, it's going to directly relate to our funding.
Okay, perfect. On these questions, we're going to try to get through a few of them, so I'm going to try to hold all of your answers to about a minute. So next up, Irene, you moved up to second place on our list. So same question, how are you going to make sure Amarillo College remains an affordable place to get an education?
Well, I believe that there's, as far as I can see and studying what's going on, I believe there's a lot of money coming in, and I think we need to make sure that the money that's coming in is used to the best advantage. And I've heard lots of stories about this, that, and the other, but I really believe that we need to be more careful with what we already have. I know that there was the 89 million came in earlier, and then we were asking for 45 more million. And I think the taxpayers are ready to know where all this money is going and where it's coming from and where it's going to.
That's perfect. Thank you. And Michelle Fortunato, same question about affordability with AC.
Sure. Thank you. Well, we have the Thrive program, which provides free community college to graduates from Amarillo High School. So that's a good start. And if you transfer to WT or someplace, you've got 2 years free at AC and you can finish anywhere you want. We also apply for a lot of grants, and we've got $160 million grant right now that we have applied with partners at WT and Texas Tech and the AEDC. I mean, it's a phenomenal grant. If we got it, it would be, there'd be 5 colleges that would share that grant, but we would be the fiscal agent for it. And it's pretty awesome. But yes, keeping taxes, we don't want to raise the taxes. The 89 million, I think Irene talked about, is what the citizens approved for our bonds. And if you've driven around the campus, you can see where that money went. It's very much going into the construction of various things.
Thank you very much. Jason Fogelsong, you're up next. Same question about affordability.
I think the focus on grants and scholarships is really important, as well as making sure that whatever taxpayer money we do take in is spent responsibly, and to make sure that the voters understand how that money is being used. I'm at this point in time, with the way the economy is and seeing people struggle all the time, I'm going to be completely opposed to tax hikes and bond issuances and things like that, unless something is some kind of an emergency situation, because the people just can't afford it. So we have to focus on using the money that we have the best way that we can. And I know that some of my colleagues on the board, should I get elected, are going to have a lot of information and guidance to help me with that. But I want to make sure that I'm communicating openly with the people about it.
All right, perfect. Thank you for saving us time. Mike Yazbek, finally, same question about affordability.
You know, Amarillo College has always been affordable. It's not expensive. When I went there back 43 years ago, tuition was about for me, it was $250 per semester. That's $500 a year. Now it's still well below what you would pay elsewhere. And with the new programs for the Amarillo High School students, you know, for the AISD students coming in with this free tuition, when you transfer out of Amarillo College going to a major university like Michigan State or University of Texas, that 2 years is going to equate to somewhere around $100,000 in tuition costs. So it's definitely affordable to do this, even if the tuition goes up a little bit. But as far as keeping it affordable, that's what's really been great about this area here. Is there have always been opportunities, even with work study programs within the college, where the students will be actually doing services for the college and still get their tuition as, quote, an employee. So there are all kinds of opportunities, plus the PR advantages that the college have with a 100,000 watt radio station and an on-air PBS station that basically has 3 channels. The college has got it. It's something really good.
All right, I'm going to stop you there. And Dan Butcher is ready to jump in with the question. So take it away, Dan.
You bet. I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. I'm going to address this question to all of the candidates. Obviously, Amarillo College has a lot of great things to offer everybody that attends, but times are changing and community colleges have to adapt. From 2019 to the fall of 2021, according to the Texas Association of Community Colleges, community college enrollment decreased by over 10%. So my question to each of you is, how do you think Amarillo colleges and community colleges in general need to adapt and change to continue to serve their students? And I'm going to start this question with Jason.
Okay, well, we already have some progress going on with the innovation outpost that I've learned about, with some cutting edge technological programs, cybersecurity, things like that. But we also have to focus on the certificate program they offer, the career skills, their training opportunities. There's a shortage in like plumbing and electrician work, and like, what's the other one I'm thinking of? Agriculture. We need to find ways to cater to those things, and also make sure we're focusing on the jobs that exist in the Panhandle and Amarillo specifically, because we have a really big service economy here, and there's not a lot of opportunities for these students once they get their new skills to really stay in the area. And I'm not sure how to solve that other than to try to partner with local businesses to give the students an incentive to stay.
Okay, and let's go with Brady with the same question.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Jason's right. I think, Innovation Outpost is a really great example of some things we're doing that are very different, that are offering certifications or offering these types of technical things that people can work and be able to do that. And in fact, they're offering stipends for some students to be able to actually get paid a little bit while they're going through that. When you look at the trend across the country in terms of college enrollment, you are seeing that. And I think our economy is a great example. People want to go to work. There's lots of jobs to be had. So getting an education isn't priority when you're making money. I think that is a little bit of a pendulum swing, and I think it will balance back out. I think that is kind of typically the way this works out with our economy. But as long as we are continuing to stay cutting edge, I think as long as we are making sure that even our programs that allow students to get dual credit while they're doing their kind of basics to get up to speed, they're getting tutoring, they're getting credit for those, making it easier and quicker to go through. All of those types of programs that the college is doing assist in that. I think as long as we're keeping our eyes on that, we will continue to be innovative and making sure that we're meeting the needs.
Okay, and let's go with Mike next.
Well, a lot of the problems with the students being down, the enrollment being down during those years from 2019 through 2021, the one big elephant in the room that nobody's mentioned is the fact that everybody was cooped up with COVID. We were locked down. So what do you do with that? A lot of people did not have internet access, or they didn't have the time to sit on the internet all day, or they didn't have the internet the internet bandwidth. So the Affordable Connectivity Program didn't come in until 2021, which really helped people a lot. But unfortunately, that did not help the drop in enrollment because even though the distance learning was there, people didn't have the access to the equipment or to get into the service and spend the time online because they just didn't have it. And of course, enrollment everywhere was down, but it's coming back. Amarillo College needs to push a little bit harder with the public relations and offer these distance learning programs if you've got that. The ACP is one of the greatest things that the federal government ever decided to come out with. It gives you a discount on your internet access, and it's for everybody that made less than $100,000 a year.
Okay, and let's go with Michelle.
Yes, COVID was bad for enrollment. However, Amarillo College, I believe, we were against the trend and we did not lose enrollment in those years. We have stayed flat or just a little bit above. So we're bucking the trend, and good for us. One of the most exciting things we've got going on right now is partnering with the AEDC and the city of Amarillo for its new project called The Range. And the goal of The Range is to make this region of the state a food hub for the whole state. And if we get that accomplished, we will have lots of businesses and that need employees, and we've got the staff that will tailor our curriculum to those programs and to the skills that those employers need. It's very exciting. It's very innovative. It's very new, but I think it's got a lot of prospect, and I think we'll keep bringing in students as long as we can.
Okay, we'll bring Irene in to answer and then back to Thomas.
Some of the things that I've learned as I've been online and really trying to find out about colleges and how things are going, one of the concerns that I've heard about is the values that some of these colleges are taking on and changing their values, and their students that are, I've heard of a lot of them leaving the public colleges for the religious colleges because of the things that are being taught that aren't really a part of the curriculum, but it's propaganda. And so I think that's one of the things that we need to work on at Amarillo College is to the diversity, equity, and inclusion part that has been trained for at least 3 years now, that needs to be checked out and see if that's really the way we want our college to go. Because I know there's people right now that are concerned about whether they're going to have their students going to Amarillo College or not.
All right. Thank you, Irene. So we are kind of to the end of the AC portion. So we're just going to go down the list. I'm going to give each of you this fun little question, and we'll just go ahead and start with Irene since she's on my screen. If you were elected, now this is a tough question because it's hard to, I think, describe yourself in such short terms, but if you were elected, how would you describe your philosophy as a regent in 3 words or less?
Detailed, organized, physical. I'm running out of words.
That's good. Yeah. Jason, you're next up on my list. Same thing. 3 words or less. How are you going to be as a regent?
Responsible, accountable, and transparent.
All right, perfect. Then Michelle Fortunato, same thing. 3 words.
Integrity, truthfulness, hard worker.
All right, perfect. And Brady, same thing.
I would say experienced, open, and community focused. It's a compound word.
That's good. That's fine. And Mike, same thing. 3 words.
I would say, I want to say forward-looking, challenging, and standards.
All right, perfect. Well, candidates, we really appreciate each of you joining us, and we wish you all the best